Hello guys, welcome to DATAHACKS. In this video, we are going to learn about use context in Next.Js. So context in React or Next.Js way to manage the states globally. So normally managing state in Next.Js is complex if the project is bigger. So we are using use context to reduce the complexity of managing states. It can use together with useState hook also to share the states between deeply nested components more easily with the useState alone. So instead of providing variable to the values, we can use useStates. So we can update the values easily. Also, if there is a nested components. So it is designed to share data that can consider as a global data for a tree of React components such as current authenticated user or theme, which means we can share the details of authenticated users or certain styles all over the Next.js application. So let's start the practical demonstration of use context in Next.js. First of all, I'm going to explain what are going to be happen if we are not going to use context. So here, first of all, I'm going to create a components. First, I'm going to create components 1.jsx. So create RFC and let's import the component here. So remove this one, components 1. So here import component 1 and we are going to provide capital C. So here we have extra component, we don't need this one. So let's again create another component named components 2.jsx. So create RFCE and here we are going to in component 1 we are going to import the component 2. Import component 2 inside component 1. So we have to change this to capital. So every component should have a capital letters at the first, then only it will work. So let's import the component 2 here. Component 2. So inside component 1 we have imported the component 2 and component 1 is imported in the index page, and here we have created the data called data and equal to Bharat. So if I want to share the value to the component 2, first of all I need to data pass in this way data, and if I go to component 1, here I will have one props named data, and again I should provide a data and pass the props here data. In component 2, here again we will receive the data, and here I am going to provide data. So let's trigger the Next.js application here, npm run dev. So in index page itself it will reflect. So let's wait for a few seconds. Here you can see component 1 and component 2 Bharat. Next I am going to change the value of data in index to Bharat India. and if we go here we have Bharat India. So it is very complex, we have to pass the data from index page to component 1 to component 2. It is complex. Here it is a small application, so it will be very easy for you. If we are using more complex application, it will be very hard. So in this case we have to overcome these and all. So we are going to create use context. So first of all, I'm going to create a new file inside components called app context.jsx, and first of all I'm going to import React, and I'm going to create a variable called app context and react dot create context. Next I'm going to export default app context. Next I'm going to the app.js, otherwise I can go to the index. If we provide the instruction in app.js, it will apply the data to the whole application, otherwise it will, if we apply the condition here, it will apply only to the components which is present inside the index. So I want to use inside the index import app context, and here I'm going to remove this one and replace with the fragments. So let's here app context dot provider, the same way I'm going to provide here app context provider. So let's remove this data from here and provide here as value, and go to component 1, remove this props and remove this one. And next here we have import a component 2, here also remove the props and remove the data from here. We want the data to be here only, so I'm going to import app component here also. After this I'm going to change this into fragment, so let's use this one. Here I'm going to use app context dot consumer. In the same way I'm going to provide here and place below the div. So here I'm going to provide, so next I'm going to provide curly braces. So already we have provided this one, and value which we provide in the index page, here we have provided the value. So here I'm going to provide value arrow function, and so here we don't need arrow function also, like we don't need curly braces because we have only one tag. If we have more than one tag only, we have to use curly braces. So inside I'm going to provide a value. So if we go and refresh the page, here you can see Bharat data. We have now passed the data as a props in a components. This is component 2 and this is component 1. Here you can see no data has been passed as a props. So here I don't want use this app context consumer. So we can also use another methods to use this one. So first of all, I'm going to comment this one, and after commenting I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Here I'm going to use import use context, and here constant. Here we have created the variable called value, and here I'm going to provide use context, and use context. So inside use context we have to provide app context. So you can see here the value. You can use either this app context consume method or use context hook to get the value. Now we have reached the final part of this video. Please provide your thoughts on use context in comment section so you can evaluate yourself. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You will get the updates regularly. Thank you for watching this video.